Now we want to use our fingertips and our finger pads to grip the ball. We don't want to use our palm. Our fingertips and our finger pads give us much more control over the basketball and give us a more direct feel and really lets us control the accuracy of the shot. Once you start to get your palm on the ball, that's when you're going to start to lose rotation and you're going to start to lose accuracy. Now we're going to look at hand position. Now you get a quick look here at the correct hand position, but what we want to make sure is that our hands are relaxed. So note the thumb position currently. Now note the hand position on this. The hands are actually spread out just about as far as they can go. The thumb is all the way almost beneath the basketball and the pinky is all the way to the other side of the ball. Our fingers give us control over the ball, but when you get too wide, the hands are no longer relaxed and the fingers are no longer relaxed, and we start to lose accuracy on our shot. Now take a look at this example. It's a little bit opposite of the last one. You see the pinky and the thumb are both moved in, the fingers are all a little tighter together, they're relaxed, but we're not covering enough of the surface area of the basketball. And having the correct amount of surface area is what helps us be accurate. Now flipping back to the original example, this is the correct way. You can see the ball is being held by the finger pads and the fingertips, not on the palm. And you can also see that the hands aren't spread quite as far or quite as thin. It's kind of a nice relaxed balance between spreading your hands out as far as you can and having that too relaxed, too close grip. Now we're going to look at the positioning of the ball on the actual shooting hand itself. So what we want to do here is make sure that we don't have the ball too high up on the fingertips and finger pads, and we don't have it sunk down all the way to the palm. This positioning actually has a lot of influence on our accuracy of the shot, as well as the rotation that we get on the shot. The first thing we're going to cover is the position of the feet when shooting. The ideal position is a nice shoulder width, balanced, athletic stance. This is going to be crucial for getting your shot off correctly. What we don't want to do is get too wide in our stance. So a few reasons for this, but one is we can't react quickly and jump up and spring up and get that shot off. And it also makes it awkward for us to pass out of that position or to dribble out of that position. Similarly, if you get our feet too close together, it's not correct because we lose a ton of balance that way. We all know there's contact on the basketball court, and any little nudge is going to throw you off your shot. So we need a nice, balanced, athletic position that you feel comfortable in. All right, now we're going to talk about the shot pocket. The shot pocket is simply the position that we enter our shot out of. You also hear it called the shot chamber or various other terms, but we like to call it the shot pocket. Really, you have your hands in your proper shooting position on the ball. You're relaxed, but you have a nice firm grip on the ball, and you're in that same athletic, balanced, shoulder width stance that we just talked about. Now the thing about this position is it easily allows you to enter into your shot, but it doesn't limit you. You could pump fake from this position, or you could pull the ball down and go right back into your triple threat position, or pull it down and pass or dribble. So your options are still available to you in this position. You're not limited. So this position flows directly into the shot. Again, eyes forward, balanced stance, hands in the correct position. The shot pocket flows directly into the set position. The set position is where we actually begin to execute the shot. So you notice you move directly from the shot pocket into the set position. However, it shouldn't be herky-jerky movement. It should be smooth. Now you notice here there's a 90-degree angle formed at the top and the bottom of the arm with the shooting arm. One way to actually test this is to put the ball inside the arm instead of in the hand so you can get a feel for how that should feel. Now, one important thing to note is that the entire right side of the body is aligned. From the right ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, elbow, all the way up to the ball. The complete shooting side should be aligned. This is going to help tremendously with accuracy. Be careful to not let any one part of the body get too far out of line. Particularly the elbow is a thing a lot of people have trouble with when they're starting out. Shot pocket, set position, shot. Remember, shot pocket, set position, right into the shot. So do some work on getting into the shot pocket and set position. Make sure you have a nice balanced stance. Feel what it feels like to have that solid base and to be able to move in any direction or go right to the dribble. Play with it. Practice on rollouts, square your body, work on it. First, we're going to talk about the release. The actual release should be a nice, relaxed, smooth motion. It shouldn't be mechanical or rigid. From the set point, the shooting arm moves up and slightly forward, straight towards the basket. As the elbow nears full extension, the shooting wrist should actually start to turn over and flop, with the fingers pointing down toward the ground, almost like reaching into a cookie jar on the top shelf. The arm should reach full extension at the release of the shot, and it should be ideally just above your head when you release the ball. This high release point helps us with ensuring we get enough arc on the shot. You want your hands to be relaxed when you're shooting. This will make that flop happen more natural and it'll naturally put backspin on the ball. You also want to make sure that your guide hand is not putting any force on the ball at all. It is there only to support the ball moving from the shot pocket to the set position and to the release point. The last thing that contacts the ball as you release is the index and middle finger. Note in this freeze frame that the elbow, arm, wrist, the whole right side of the body is still in line, just like we learned in the last video. This shouldn't change during the shot. The elbow should come up straight, the hand should come up straight, and the wrist should flop straight towards the basket. If any of this gets out of line, you're going to lose a lot of accuracy on your shot. In this slow motion, you can see how the arm moves forward and up, the wrist flops over, the elbow stays in, the hand goes straight ahead.
You can get most of the same training benefits Noah offers by using a few simple tricks. The way you'll train a consistent arc for your shot is by training to use the same power and release point consistently. And you do this by focusing on two things: where your eyes focus on the rim and where your fingers end up pointing to on your follow-through. You always want your eyes to be focused on a spot deep in the back of the rim. When you're shooting from straight on, that spot is dead center in the back of the rim and about 2 inches down. And when you move around the court, like you do in a game, focus your eyes on the bottom of the net loop that's in line from where you're shooting from. For example, when you shoot from the elbow, you focus here. Or when you shoot from the corner, focus here. The next step is to pay close attention to your hands right after you shoot, specifically where your fingers are pointing to on the backboard at the very end of your follow-through. I learned this from Coach Rick Torbett at Better Basketball. Check your shooting fingers at the end of your follow-through, and if they point somewhere between the top of the box on the backboard and below the top of the backboard, you almost certainly shot with a correct medium-high arc. A great place to start is by shooting and making sure that your fingers and hands are framing just above the box on the backboard, like this, at the end of your release. Now, if your fingers point below the top of the box on the backboard, at the end of your follow-through, you almost certainly shot too low of an arc. If your fingers point above the top of the backboard, you shot too high of an arc. Experiment a little and see what works best for you. The ideal spot for your fingers to be pointing to is going to be slightly different for each player, but it'll never be below the top of the box or off the top of the backboard. Here's two things to look for so that you can be sure you're practicing those two steps correctly. The first thing to look for is that you're hitting a lot of shots deep in the back of the basket. These are called Brad shots, and that stands for back rim and down. Even if you've been taught the perfect shot is a pure swish, the world's best shooters more often shoot a shot that hits deep into the back of the basket, grazes the back rim, and falls in. Here's some footage of LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Stoudemire, and Gallinari that'll show you what I mean.
James has had huge games here at the Garden, and the pass, Gallinari, open three, puts it in. James with the jump shot for the Knicks, guarding James. I mean, you just can't stop players that all the talk about Carmelo Anthony. Power forward, he's playing a lot of center early. And Stoudemire again.
So when you shoot and you see the ball hit deep in the rim and you hear the little clink of a good Brad shot, you know you're on the right track. The other way to tell that your practice is paying off is by watching where the ball goes after it goes through the hoop. If your shot comes right back in your direction after you hit it, you're practicing your art correctly. Here's an example. This is Ray Allen shooting before a game. If it wasn't for him having 5 rebounders, most of his made shots would be coming straight back to him. When you're practicing and you see that the ball is hitting the back of the rim and coming back to you more and more, you know that you're beginning to train the correct arc and building muscle memory for it. And once you've shot that same correct arc over and over in practice, your body will automatically use it in games. When you put everything I just covered in order, it boils down to 3 steps. Step 1, focus your eyes deep in the back of the rim. Step 2, shoot the ball so that it hits the back rim, goes down, and rebounds back to you. In step 3, hold your follow through and check your shooting fingers at the end of your shot to make sure they're pointing between the top of the box and below the top of the backboard.
The largest reason why players miss short is because they shoot the ball below the rim. If you shoot too low, you will always lack arch. Most coaches will tell you that if you miss, you should use more legs. You can use all the legs you want, but you will fail if your release is below the basket. Always remember, if you're short, shoot higher.
The action from the shoulders up is what is called the release. We recommend that it be a constant speed, automatic pushing action to full arm extension, locking the elbow with relaxed wrist and hand. The wrist is so relaxed, ideally, that the hand bounces in the follow-through. We call this a push and flop motion. It's done at a speed that can be performed all day long without hurting the elbow, perhaps 70% of maximum.